Hello and welcome to Project Parents United. We continue our conversation with Dr. Sandeep Reddy, who is a pediatrician, about the importance of sleep in children's development and how we can get our children to sleep better. We also talk about good sleep hygiene and good sleep habits. But what does that really mean? Curious to know more? Tune in into our conversation with Dr. Sandeep Reddy about this topic.
As grown-ups, we often wish that we could get more restful sleep. And we also hear how critical it is to develop like good sleep hygiene or sleep habits. Tell us a little bit more about what are these sleep habits and how can we help incorporate these in our children's sleep routine?
Yeah. So I think, everybody just does very well with structure, and which is even more so when it's like babies and toddlers. So sleep hygiene is like a term, or sleep routine. So there should be a relatively set time in the evening when, you start unwinding from the day, if there are like toys and any kind of distractions should be put away, baths, soothing music. If it's a toddler, maybe like a bedtime story or bedtime rhymes. Those are very important to just, start getting more mellow so you can fall asleep.
I see. And just for older children, I think it's just as important to maintain this structure as they're getting older.
Absolutely. I would say, older children, let's say you go into like school age and stuff, and everybody has a phone so usually I would recommend, iPads, phones, out of their bedrooms. Children should not have any television in their bedroom. So that helps, mellow everything. Maybe read a book themselves if they are able to, or parents come and read to them so that, the brain starts calming down, and all those inputs that make us like so awake, are gone. So you can get some restful sleep.
I see. No, this is very important. Sleep hygiene, sleep habits are critical. We want children to be well rested, and that's the only way they'll feel more energized. But I guess the other question now is what happens when children don't get enough sleep? What does lack of sleep does to a child's development?
That's a very good question. So I'll answer it like in 2 points. So one point is, not every child can be sleep trained. So there are some children who you have to know, like, let's say you tried all the sleep training methods. It's been about 2 weeks. You need to give it a break, and then maybe a week's break, and then try again. And then if it doesn't work, then you know that this is not something that's going to work for your child.
Right.
The other thing is, children who are not sleeping well, or sometimes, parents are co-sleeping and there's a lot of disturbance. They are not getting restful sleep. So the brain is not fully, rested and energized in the morning. So you'll have a crankier child. You'll have a child who's not, energetic and happy. So it creates, again, the parent-child dynamic also, suffers, because if a child's not sleeping well, the parent's not sleeping well, because you're tending to them. So that's why it's so important for the child to be, able to get restful sleep.
Right. And it is so true. It manifests differently as we get older. If we don't get enough sleep as parents, we are just tired the whole day. But children, on the other hand, are just hyperactive and crankier, as you said. So I think it's critical that parents really pay attention to these signs early on. And if you could share some sleep safety tips for our parents, I think that'll be wonderful.
Yeah, sure. So, sleep safety is so important. There's been a huge push by the American Academy of Pediatrics. It's called Back to Sleep. So the babies should always be on their back to sleep. They should never be on their belly, and not even on the side, because when on their side, it's very easy to kind of, roll over to the belly. Once a child is able to roll backwards and forwards freely, then you don't worry as much, because now they are capable, if they're on their belly, they can flip on their back. But for babies, it's very important, back to sleep. And also there should be no blankets or stuffed toys in the baby's crib or bassinet. And, the other thing is, if sometimes babies have reflux, parents want to, raise the angle of the bed, and they'll put a blanket under the baby to raise it. That's not safe. What's recommended is to raise the entire crib. So you're putting something under the feet of the crib. So and that also has to be a very gentle incline so that the baby doesn't roll to the end of the crib. So all those things have to be watched. And, as they get older, we lower the crib, but as they become more mobile, they can try to come out of the crib. So, transitioning them to toddlers' beds with side railings, and all those are some of the safety things that the parents can think about.
I see. And some tips for when parents decide to co-sleep with their baby, any tips for them?
The easiest, or I would say the safest way to co-sleep is with a co-sleeper. So it's like a crib, but the one side is open and it can come next to the bed. So the baby is still in their own area, but they're right there. It's as good as co-sleeping because they can feel the mom right there. So, that's probably the safest way to co-sleep.
I see. No, I think parents need to understand what are the safety measures out there, especially when babies are really little. We really have to, and I don't think there's any parent out there, especially a new parent, who has slept restfully when their baby is. You're just constantly looking at them the whole time. But I think you shared some very, very important fundamental tips for parents. And thank you once again. I think this was an amazing conversation. Do you have anything to add?
Thank you so much. Well, I would like to commend you on this wonderful initiative you've taken, to bring different people in their fields to this platform to inform parents. So that's really good. And I would love to be back with some other topics that you have and be part of this.
Thank you. Your encouragement means a lot. Thank you. Thank you once again.
We hope you found this information useful, and don't forget to tell us what you think. You can also connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, or visit us at www.projectparentsunited.com.